Good evening, and thank you for joining us. There's new evidence tonight that no one, not even the president, is safe from coronavirus. The White House now confirms one of President Trump's personal valets has tested positive for COVID-19. CBS News has learned the valet, a member of the Navy assigned to work at the White House, served the president his meals. And while officials say the president has tested negative, the exposure is raising questions about whether the commander-in-chief should be required to follow his own administration's guidelines and quarantine for 2 weeks. The president's valet is now among the more than 1.2 million confirmed cases here in the U.S. More than 75,000 have died nationwide in the past 2 months. And as we come on the air tonight, there is yet another sobering number that illustrates the toll of the virus. 3.2 million more Americans filed for unemployment in the last week, pushing the total number out of work since the crisis began to 33.5 million. The unemployment rate, which is due out tomorrow, has not been this high since the Great Depression. Tonight, this graph showing weekly jobless claims over the last 15 years really says it all. There's a lot to get to, and our correspondents are covering it. CBS's Ben Tracy is going to lead us off tonight from the White House. And Ben, the president calls this the invisible enemy, and now it's invaded the White House.
It sure has. These White House valets are members of the military, and they do all sorts of things here at the White House, including laying out the president's clothes. We've learned this particular valet was close enough to serve the president meals.
The president, a self-described germaphobe, said it was a little bit strange to find out one of his White House valets tested positive for coronavirus.
I've had very little personal contact with this gentleman. Know who he is, good person, but I've had very little contact.
CBS News has learned the valet started feeling sick on Tuesday and tested positive on Wednesday. Valets, who have not always been wearing masks, are typically assigned to the White House while some travel with the president. But President Trump and Vice President Pence are now being tested every day instead of just once per week.
In fact, I had one yesterday and I had one today, and it's negative. Mike just had a test and it's negative.
But if the president and the valet came within 6 feet of each other, the president should quarantine, according to CBS News contributor Dr. David Agus.
What you're worried about is that valet, when they're breathing or talking, can actually expel droplets. Those droplets can stay in the air for a period of time, and the president could have inhaled them.
CBS News has learned that the White House rejected a Centers for Disease Control document detailing how states can safely reopen everything from parks and restaurants to daycares and churches. The White House found the guidelines overly specific, and the president wants those decisions made by state and local officials. But Democrats say it's dangerous for the White House to encourage states to reopen without a plan for nationwide coronavirus testing.
And right now, when it's killing 70,000 Americans, he still refuses to stand up a national testing plan because he worries that it might make him look bad.
Now, doctors say there can be a lag time between when you are exposed to the virus and when you would test positive on a test for it. And in that time, you can be infectious. Despite that, President Trump does not plan to quarantine. Nora.
Extraordinary development there, Ben. Thank you.